So today we're talking about kickstarting your prepping journey, top beginner tips to master survival basics. Welcome back to Eagle Eye Prepping, and welcome to the awesome world of prepping, the exciting world of prepping. So one thing before we get started, I definitely want to address the major concern that a lot of people feel when they are just starting out with prepping, and that is the sense of overwhelm. It can be overwhelming when you think about all the different tasks that you have to address. You want to address, of course, water, food, shelter, security, even community and skill building. So it might feel a bit overwhelming, but two things that I want to emphasize is that you don't have to do all these things at once. Do these things little by little, and before you know it, you'll be able to reach all of your goals. And secondly, everyone's prepping journey looks different. So obviously there are a lot of different YouTube channels and other channels on social media that are dedicated to giving prepping tips. You don't have to do everything exactly the way everyone else tells you to do it. You can do it in a way that fits your needs. So, of course, the purpose of this video is to provide you with manageable steps as a beginner. So we'll jump right into it. First, you want to assess your needs and priorities. Every family situation is different. So some things that you can consider would be location, family size, health, and budget. Okay. Next up, you want to build a basic emergency kit, and that can look different for everyone because everyone's needs are different. But whatever you consider to be a basic emergency necessity included in that kit, it is extremely important for you to have it. And you also want to make sure that you have a checklist of items to include in the kit. So at any point, if you want to pull out the checklist to know exactly what's in the bag or in the kit, you'll be able to give it a quick view without taking everything apart. So next up, you want to develop a plan. Okay, it is extremely important to have a plan in place. Some of the elements that you would include in the plan is communication, evacuation routes, meeting points, and things of that nature. Next up, water and food storage. You want to start out with at least a 3-day supply. Obviously, you'll move up as time goes on. As you accomplish other goals, you'll be adding to that food supply. So, for example, if you can't leave the house for a few days, at least you'll have something on hand to make sure that you're not going to starve to death or die of thirst. Okay. So next up, you want to really focus on learning new skills. Okay. Prepping is very huge on gaining knowledge and skills because part of the goal is to become self-sufficient. There's so much going on, and whether it's a natural disaster or a man-made disaster, you want to be able to keep your life up and running if you are unable to get anyone else to help you out. At least you will have some skills to keep yourself safe and your life running as necessary. So some skills that you can definitely put on your list to learn. Gardening is number one. Obviously, that's related to food. Then first aid and CPR, and then basic home repairs. If you are in a position where you're really not able to fit in a class or anything like that, at least buy some books, okay? Having the books on hand will come in handy. If you are unable to physically go into the class, at least you'll have something to refer to. Next up, join a community. You can find these communities online, but of course, in person, making those connections, being able to learn from people in person is also important. So definitely you want to consider, she just kicked the soccer ball all the way in the air. I thought it was going to hit my head. Anyway, in closing, I just want to reassure you that starting your prepping journey doesn't have to be intimidating. Okay, you want to be prepared, not paranoid. You want to stay positive and stay informed and keep moving forward. There's so many things that you can be distracted by these days, and so many things that will make you feel like you're not doing enough. But as long as you have breath in your body, you can still prep, you can still learn something new, and focus on the things that you can control. There are a lot of channels that are really focused on the doom and gloom. Maybe you feel like you've heard that messaging from me, I do not feel like I'm in a doom and gloom type of situation. I feel very hopeful about the future, and it's only because I created a plan and I feel very good about the progress that I'm making on those plans. Have I always been that way? No, absolutely not. 2021, really 2020 and 2021 was a very concerning time for me. I felt very confused about, a lot of things. And I was actually going through things on a personal level. So that really made me feel like a little bit, just kind of lost. But when I created a plan and focused on what I could do to prepare for potential disaster, whether it's a natural disaster or any of the multitude of man-made disasters that we are now seemingly approaching, I felt so much better. If you don't already have some water and some food set aside, get your 3-day supply, please, okay? You certainly want to make sure that you're putting something aside and getting some skills to prepare for anything that may come your way. And speaking of security, I'm at the park and, this individual, is kind of walking around looking a little suspicious, so I'm keeping an eye out, trying to figure out what I need to do. Looks like he's scoping out the place, and I'm watching his ass too. Anyway, y'all, for more prepping tips, be sure to subscribe to Eagle Eye Prepping, and always remember, no one is coming to save you, but you absolutely have the power to save yourself. See you on the next one.